What's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. And this particular video, y'all will be reviewing again Marriage Boot Camp. Reality Stars, Marriage Boot Camp, Reality Stars. What is this? Season 4 for Reality Star version, Episode 2 review. And shout out to my YouTube fam. You're not part of my YouTube fam? Don't forget to, like and, be part and subscribe and like and share this video, y'all. Okay, let's get into it. Now, we see a little bit more in the issues. Benzino and Athena, if y'all remember, or also known as Titi as well. Now, if anybody remembered Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the season before last, they were, this and this and my baby boo and blah, blah, blah. But the real reality is, if we're going by when it was then, almost 2-something years ago, which a lot of people thought the relationship was fake anyway, and this bubbly and this and that and this and all of this and what I meant to say is that, the beginning, based on if you compare and contrast both shows they've been on, it seemed like at first with them, everything's good in the beginning. It was all good just a week ago. And what I mean is that originally, they actually probably enjoyed, maybe obviously it was great sex, whatever, and it was good times, also more great sex or whatever. And then the real reality started, because I could have sworn that this behavior that's shown in this time is totally different than what he was even shown then. Even because the midst of, they bring up about the passing of Benzino's mother and the sad and awkwardness, tragic, or almost tragic that happened, where I think he couldn't attend, the thing with attending his mother funeral, trying to get his mother funeral, and he couldn't open up the casket. It was just a lot of sad, crazy stuff, and him getting shot by one of his nephews. So, it just seemed like it was more support there, when they were, in the beginning. Excuse me, y'all. So, anyways, we got Benzino and Titi are up there still arguing. He came off the couch and they, she started sound like he's slamming doors back for we got Elizabeth and Jim folks thinking like, well, we gonna have to mind them a little bit, but we keep secure inside. But they're just noticing like you have a problem of them being the most having the most one of the main couples arguing. Now between Sean and Kathleen, I call her Catherine, but they seem to be the most calmest out of everybody. And actually, people, if you remember the commercials for this season, they made Mama June and Sugar Bear like, Lord Jesus, they were going to cause the more, havoc. And actually, they're kind of the most laid back, like they smoke a joint before they wake up every morning. So, I'm just saying they're actually the calmest. Ink and Sarah are kind of also the expressive ones, like, here, well, okay, we see what's going on here, blah, 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 blah. Also, as well, it doesn't say in the argument, but they gonna be wanting to put their 2 cents in, and 50 cents, and 50 cents extra, whether you like it or not, whatever, unless you call them out on something. Not to say they're actually arguing people all the way, but it's just like, okay, will we do this in real life? It's supposedly real life, but you get what I'm saying. And they start off still arguing, and then they're just like, what the hell? Even every other couple was hearing just Benzino and Athena just arguing back and forth, and just like, you need to stop with you. It's just the same argument. Like I said, the honeymoon, or when the sex and everything was going to begin in the get-go, it's been pretty much downhill. Okay, but like I said, they recently have a baby. I don't know if they're together or they reconciled after they have this child. What is the baby? Their little baby now is 1 month old. But yeah, so they about to have an exercise, and it takes them near the lake. Okay, where, it's a little pond, whatever, near the resort. They're doing the exercise. No. First, the part of exercise is they got the men on one big couch, they got the ladies on one couch, and then they're sitting there writing, and, one love letter, and then, no, they write the hate letter first, and then put in a green envelope. And then they write the love letter. And even Sunday in her confessionals was like, she put a lot of bad stuff in that letter. I don't know what was said, and we still don't know what the hell was being said, unless they somehow bring it up in later in the season. But I'm wondering, like, shit, she said, I wish you were dead, motherfucker, your dick don't work, and then I can't wait for to get the money, collect the claims off the insurance policy with your dead fuck ass. Because the way she was the only one, I'm not jumping ahead, but she was the only one who never had to prove her letter. And we'll get to that in a second, what I mean. So, anyways, the people had to sit there and basically do this letter, and we were put in a bottle and they threw it out. And supposedly they were supposed to help with the love letter. So, you know, do the love letter and keep the love letter. But it's like, what, you know, what was in these hate letters? And we're going to find out. They put them in the, you know, glass bottle and, you know, and throw out. I'm thinking like, now, you know, some environments, I don't know why I thought about this, maybe because of the class I took it. They were like, I know some environments probably sitting here. Why is y'all sitting here and throwing glass bottles into the water? That's polluting the earth. I don't know why I just thought about that. But anyway, y'all. Okay, y'all. But yeah, like I said, we thinking they're getting rid of the hate letters and that part of exercise. So in between, before they have these letters connecting to, you know, it's 3 exercises this particular episode. And then we have it where they're, like I said, before they go in, somehow Fifi and Benzino get into some shit again, going into damn place. One of the things that stood out was like, he complained about him, you know, like walking in front or trying to walk in front of her and stuff. Like, they even arguing with petty stuff like you know, don't, you know, like all the guys just walking for their whip, blah, blah, and everybody just like, what the hell? And also, I think around that same time, either before in the morning, whatever, they argue so much that you don't even if I wrote those, is so many times in between they had them on hitting camera saying stuff, I don't want to be with this bitch anymore, or some comment like that. So, she's all talking, like I said, arguing, walking away about this walking thing and just unnecessary, just making arguments over certain stuff. And of course, it's time for Ink at least put his input in. I think he was saying something that started where it was Ink and Sarah originally were talking about the first time they didn't have sex or something last night or something, and he was trying to get in and somehow broke his wrist, supposedly that he walked away. But like I said, he was bringing up also to Fifi a couple times about, well, you know, like, you know, y'all just arguing over petty stuff about Fifi. It's like, whatever. But it was interesting because when he walked up, and I think Sunday was also right there too. She was asking him, like, what happened to his wrist, and he's trying to claim, like I said, trying to do some extra stuff, and that's why his wrist broke, you know, trying to get it in. And, you know, Sunday, you know, he's going up the stairs, but Ink hears it, but Sunday's like this. She like, and he's talking about, like, they had all these 20 people in the shower, and blah, 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 basically, fine, like, he just on some, you know, just saying some shit, just be extra, and probably just put some tape on, just to get attention. He just, like, paying, you know, of course had to, like, what did you say, type of thing. And they're talking, she like, you know, of course Sunday's like, I'm not whispering, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, whatever, you know, first it went from, you know, whatever, you know, you old lady, and da-da-da. And then he came back, which is interesting. As a part, with Sunday getting really fitted back then. Usually, how we have seen in previous things, she's usually known from attacking people physical wise to what name brand did they wear, okay? And maybe if they have an illness, and sometimes kids, children, maybe wrong. I'm just saying. So, he comes. They basically talking about, and it got to the point where you're hearing everybody else hear or sort of stuff, because now they're getting a point that they're arguing back and forth. I don't know if it's between people, but it stood out where he's getting to the point where he's calling, saying, now I don't agree with everything this part about, because I've called her bitch and everything else in my reviews. I'm just keeping it real because of her behavior when she was on Basketball Wives. But it was kind of like, dude, with Ink, with his stuff, it was like, why are you calling her bitch in particular this moment? I was confused. Right is right and wrong is wrong. You know, so at that moment, it was kind of like, why is he calling her out her name? Actually, I don't think she cut it. Let's edit it. I honestly did not see anything that she had done to be called a bitch at that moment. So, and in this episode, she seemed to be at least a little bit more better in her behavior, and she kind of admitted some of her flaws. And so, who knows? She may change, change whatever. But yeah. So what I'm saying is that they're going back and he calling her a bitch, and then, you know, her husband, used to be her ex-husband, Maya trying to get back to her husband, comes in there, and even Liz and Jim are looking through the thing. It's like, okay, how many times he just gonna, so then he's basically telling her, fuck you, blah blah blah, but he ends up pulling Ink to the side, like, hey, oh, wait a minute. He basically like, man, you don't have to go to that route. But, you know, and Sarah in the end was saying something like, well, you know, it didn't have to go that far. Some kind of, I hate to say this, but honestly, I brushed her off, because it's like, he's sitting there and calling a woman out of her name, even though she's known to be so whatever. It was kind of uncalled for in this circumstance. I was confused about why he had to call her her name, and then kind of like, well, okay, let's pull him aside, whatever. And, you know, it's like Cedric did talk to him for a second, like, no, you don't have to do that. And then, you know, Benzino came over, as far as like he was giving advice, like, you know, people just stay, you know, stay out the business or whatever. And then he also had said this, like, if somebody has certain junk to say, even applying to even Ink, that he would punch a dude in the face. You know, like, let's be for real. If would he have sat there and called Phoebe a bitch and blah blah blah, would it answer the same? Well, maybe Cedric seemed a little bit more passive. I mean, he talked to him, whatever, but I'm just saying, he even heard, he slipped and called him a bitch when Cedric ended up coming into the room, and then just kind of made it more, I'm like, oh, bro, you a little too chill on that note, to that degree. Like, she should have been defending that point, because, like, why are you sitting here just arguing with her in the first place, and where does argument come from? You mad because she talked about how you possibly hurted your wrist? I'm like, Ink got some issues, okay? So... but it diffused over again. But like I said, it was so many times Benzino kept going over. Like I said, I stopped losing count. So I'm really going to focus more just these last two exercises. Now, they had another exercise where they basically had, like I said, Thief, someone Ink got into it also, but it was nowhere on the level where him and Sunday was. So they end up saying they're going to have an exercise. Jim and Elizabeth come downstairs and basically let them know, like, okay, this is uncalled for, basically. And where they separated the groups of people, like, basically they'll have Cedric and Sunday, you know, opposing sides. They'll have Kat on one side, or like called Catherine, and Sharon on the other side, on a group. And it kind of asked them certain questions. And interesting enough, Ink kind of is defensive, because he always said, I don't know his background, or we get more into it, but he actually said that he's always been the other man and been with married women. I'm thinking, like, is this one of those situations where, you know, you skipped school and messed up with Mrs. Johnson down the street? I'm just saying, is he was saying that all the women that he's been with, for majority of the time, he's been used to being the other man. And that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know, that's just my way of interpretation. I'm like, have you been fucking, you know, the neighbor's wives, whatever, like I said, Mr. Allen, you know, his wife, when he, you know, she was going to give you extra for mowing the lawn, and then, you know, taking care of, you know, the bushes, and, you know, clean out the pool, because I don't know where he would keep running to these relationships where he would run into what we would call him, you know, like repeating, and you know how some people have to look within themselves about how to keep getting in situations, or why they keep being around certain people or certain behaviors of certain people. You know, people can only do what you allow them to as they said, or say, you know, over time, you know, or how you respond to it, or are going on. But what I'm saying is that I kind of want to back there. Remember that movie? I forgot what his name was. Loving Jezebel. That was a good movie. It had Felicia Rashad, and I can't make the name, but it was like about a young dude. He was a nerd, and he always ended up with, I forgot what his name, Harvey, I forgot what his name was. But Loving Jezebel was a good movie, plug, whatever. And I remember that kind of reminded me, whereas the girls remember every female he always got with, he always ended up finding out later on they had always had a man. But they always came to him as some comfort, you know, whatever problems they had with their man. And he always, the women that he was with, always had somebody else. But it wasn't like because he was looking for it. They were just drawn to him, like they looked at him as a cute rebound, you know. I mean, type of thing. Because he was actually a little nerd. He was actually a little nerd. But it's this case, if we get more of the background about that, like, how did you end up with married women? You know, did you lose your virginity when you were 14 to a 30-year-old? I don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't know what the hell's going on with the situation. Because he is kind of defensive in the arguments that he kind of more so happens with women. He has these trust issues, and you say all the majority of women, or all damn near women you had, were married. I'm just saying. I mean, people get married young, but I'm just saying, I don't know. It just seems like it's a little bit more in depth than that. I'm not trying to be funny, but it was just kind of like, But so, they were talking to them about certain information. And the first person to go into this, like a wedding chapel, and they even got guests and everybody, you know what I'm saying? Or, fake guests. And here's Fifi. She sees all these beautiful flowers, blah, blah, blah. What she admitted was she is independent, but, she started our relationship, like, very young. And she was saying that she is dependent, but she wished, but deep down inside, she wished not to be dependent. And until she met Benzino, and then how basically how it seems like a dramatic fall, there always seem like to be unnecessary arguments and stuff, what we all see. And we see the tension about how they don't want to be around each other to a certain point. But that didn't stop them from being around each other enough that they had a baby. So they had it where she come in, when she talking about she doesn't want to be independent, that kind of also explains about why she, some people get into these relationships or even friendships. Some people, there's different type of relationships depending on how you work. But how I'm saying is, if it's the point, is the difference between lean on me and asking for somebody's opinion, or have if they, basically help you with a decision, or, sometimes you do need a helping hand. You can't always do it by yourself, but it's the difference of like almost being dependent to a point that you're leeching. And if you become so dependent on the person, whether it's emotional, financial, or above, or sexual wise, whatever, then that can damn near be an addiction, can it? You know what I'm saying? Or it'd be unhealthy for you and other persons or persons involved when you become that dependent. Like, where are you going? Blah, blah, blah. It can be turned to jealousy. It can turn like just a, you had to be able to breathe sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be trying to breathe the other person's air and stuff, And you can make your own self sick and shit, doing that shit. So anyway, she goes in, she talks to Benzino, and they have this thing where they have them read the letter of love. And then Liz and Jim let her know, like, well, okay, but you won't be able to sit there and say that, because they pulled back curtain and they got Benzino in a casket. At first, they was like, okay, tell them how you really feel about this. Because she first read the letter, like, I hate that we always get in an argument, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, okay, tell what last word, because they're saying, like, you have to be careful the words you use, because you have to cherish the day as if it's the last day sometimes. And a lot of times people, say stuff and they never get a chance to say to the person before they pass it, wish they wouldn't, close the door, wish they wouldn't anger. So sometimes we bring unnecessary turbulence into our lives and other people's lives that are close to us or whatever. So anyways, when they're asking her to be like, well, go ahead and talk to him, she's like, Benzino, still, I wish you were in my heart. Then they were like, okay, try again. Oh, Benzino, I wish you were in my heart, blah, blah. Then she was like, she wished for stuff to be better. And then they asked the other person, like, kind of how to respond more so towards the person. He said he does understand that they need to work on, making things better. And later on, like towards the end of the episode, excitement, Elizabeth goes into the casket and they bring Benzino there, and they bring up about the funeral situation. He never got a chance to open up and see his mom, I guess, in the casket, and how he had, like I said, was shot in the process of going to his mom's funeral. And they were basically like trying to have an interpreter say his last words, and Elizabeth was saying like, I love you and stuff and whatever. And Benzino was just crying, but it could be one of his issues they may have to go therapy for. And then he said to Althea when they were talking, I think after the assignment, it's like that has like caused problems, where he even said he wants to now no longer discuss bringing up his mother anymore after that. I don't know if like altogether or just as long as they're on this show, in that house. But it could be one of the main things that affects him to this day, and affects maybe their relationship. Because, like I said, everything was happy at first relationship, but over time, if people let things continue to harm them, I'm sorry, I'm just ranting on that way, but you let a lot of things push up on you and you don't find a way to reach out in a healthy manner to start getting it out, it will put a stress and toll on you and anybody else's life. So maybe that's what he's doing, because like I said, he was kind of a little hothead, and we know when he was doing his rap and shit like that too. But it seemed like now this is the most angriest, honestly, person I've seen him since the reunion, and we'll leave it as that. And you know, around that time, but he has made a diss. So I mean, he's done stuff, but it just seemed like this angry, throwing chairs, all this other stuff, and you know, it's just like this is the heart, you know, the most we've seen with him doing it. But anyways, like I said, it's like Benzino's only one that doesn't like, it's the hardest one to break out the shell as far as trying to get help. Sean and Catherine, they show her, he says like, you know, he realized he loves you, he would trade places and stuff. I forgot the hate later, it's like he just wished the stuff would stop or something. They didn't really go in detail certain people, I guess, who have stood out. But he said he loved her because she was in the casket, and he loved her and everything. And, you know, they do want to work out their marriage, and they, you know, bring out the positive things. Now, Sugar Bear and Mama June was talking about she wished the trust issue. And just the thing is with them doing the secrets, you know, like moving on. Now, interesting enough how she's always so quick to talk about Sugar Bear possibly running out on her. But there was reports that she was with her ex-con, where they had a tabloid, I don't know if it was real, that she'd been running around traveling, and it's like, here she has trust issues, but, you know, it could be question mark to her too. So anyways, y'all. The second to last one, Ink. No, okay, let's go to Sunday first. Sunday, when they realized, when she said positive comments, let's break, we get work, blah, blah, blah. But when they were trying to have her read the hate letter, she like, come on, I guess, like I said, what the hell, life insurance, blood products, she was like, he about to walk off the shore and tell me get the fuck out, whoever's name is on the lease, or lease, or deed of the house, whatever the hell they stay at. But she knew the stuff was so hurtful. Like I said, imagine everything she said, if y'all seen the previous shows, or known archetype person does, wrapped up at least 100 times more, 99.9% more than what the hell that is. And we see, you know, I'm just saying, it's enough to get her ass kicked and from everybody. Shit, I don't know what the fuck was in that damn letter. Not to say from everybody, because men don't be put hands up, but I'm just saying. Okay. But they knew that she was kind of, but she, you know, kind of, I meant to say, kind of like, just hesitant about going that far. But she did manage to say she did love him and, you know, wants to work it out. And he's appreciative too, because like I said, he was in the casket. The last one that kind of stood out was like, here go Ink, when he comes in there and says his thing. You know what? If I had a choice, you know, I do with Sarah. This was the positive though, okay? Sarah, you know, I like you. You know, if I had a choice between like and love, it would be like. More so like. I'm in like with you. Because he said, even announcing it, this is my like letter. So his trust issues and not having respect for women and stuff, like he can't take a relation seriously, whatever other issues, like I said. When he's been nothing but married women. I don't know if he used to be a gigolo back in the day. I don't know what's going on. But, you know, they talk about needing to work progress, because I think his hate level was like, you know, I'm sick of this shit, tired of shit, and they realized they need to work on a relationship in. But I just understood out with Ink's letter. So, the last assignment is to have Judge Charler, you know, I guess every night that they have an assessment about how the progress report. And first, like I said, she brings a Mama Bear, and she likes Mama. Why did I call her Mama Bear? I meant to say Mama June and Sugar Bear. But she likes Sugar Bear. But like she was saying, like they need to work on their issues of the trust thing. See to be the first thing. I heard they used to have like getting into arguments, have rebound sex or something like that, or you know, anger sex or whatever the hell they were talking about. But that's what they need to work on, is the trust issues. Like, you need to work on, you keep talking about him, but work on yourself as well. You know what I'm saying? Held accountable. She had about Sean and Catherine seemed to be the most peaceful one, you know, out of the group. Sarah and Ink, of course, is like, she could tell Sarah actually wants to get married, and he on some other level. And he gonna lie like, yeah, I know I need to work on things, but he really lied. She's like, do you love her? Yeah. And she was like, wait a minute, let's roll the tape. Evidence. And, he like, you know, and then she put him on blast, like, you know what, you just said that just to get me off your back, didn't you? He's like, yeah, basically. But so, they, like I said, are going to work out on, you know, that, or he knows there's certain things he need to change. And, like I said, Sunday, and when she got on Sunday, Cedric, she let me know about the situation is, especially pertaining to Sunday, like, the way that she comes at people is very immature. She's a little girl, okay? And Sunday, at least, Mobile's like, you know what? I do need to work on that. Okay, because they brought up the tape, but here she is with Sunday best clothes, and the way she's talking about, I ain't love the right person, woo, woo, woo. Okay, now the last group, and of course, last couple was Benzino and Athena, right? And she was basically saying, like, a part of her likes Benzino, but then she's let him know, like, we know that you're going, basically like this. Your problem is she brought up positive stuff, whatever, about him. And, I think she also brought about too, about what she needs to work on. But the reason why this stands out is because she's up here like Benzino needs to work on this thing, and stuff. And he got to think, because she's like, you degrade her, you belittle her. They showed evidence to call her a bitch. She's already arguing her. Basically, he's a dickhead. Okay? And he is asshole, volatile, and every damn thing else. And he got offended. He agreed with everybody else's statements. Yeah, because they ain't got to do, you can all outside looking in. Or you can accept the truth about somebody else, but you want to accept the lie about your damn self. So, if it comes to thing, if you can cover it up to real reality, if it's negative, that people can perceive you, or you ain't called on your bullshit, if you got any. So, he's like, for you can't say that because you don't even actually know me to even say that. Well, man, I don't really know you neither, but you seem angry as fuck. And she, Anthony basically saying, like, because of his attitude, that's what made her become nasty, not a nasty person, because basically defending herself or whatever. And she walked off stage kind of, I think, after Benzino left, and Catherine went to go comfort her to calm her down. But it was when, right before Benzino left, he was trying to do, the finger up, like you're not letting her talk, I guess, after he started paying attention, out angry, like mad, because Judge talk, let know, like, yeah, you do have some issues to work on. I know I'm not going over every detail. He got mad, fuck this, blah, 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 and just leaves and proceeds to get his suitcases at the end. So, but we do see that he does come back next episode, because some about the controversy or a shocking episode of Tango, and Sugar Mama Bear is going to, I know I say Mama June's Rain Bro, I'm sorry, but if they supposed to be partnered up for Tango, so he does stay on the show. But again, it ends the second week in a row where Benzino's the one where it ends up has to end with a bunch of unnecessary argument or madness when it didn't have to be. Everybody just wants to go sleep and count sheep and just whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he, yeah, it just makes it seem like, bro, you may need some more fair, like, not just couple fair, but to work on herself and maybe her own self, because she mentioned she has dependency somewhat issue, or or has dependency. I'm just like, okay, like I said, and they thought Mama June was gonna be the one causing havoc on this. So far, she seemed, like I said, the most chilled. Her and Sugar Bear. Sugar just like, I just love my baby boo, and that's it. But anyway, y'all, have a pleasant night, pleasant weekend, and I'll try to definitely get next week's episode. Yeah, and hugs and love.